Drink. Oh, my ballsack.
It started.
Oh shit. They had me mention my
Oh, I wish I had some Coke right now.
Oh, have some.
No, nice.
Please. It's how much for one man? What is this doing here?
That's good.
You know? Put that there.
Oh, straight away, that's better.
Oh.
Yes, bits everywhere.
Oh! Oh god. I didn't see that coming. Ash. You ash.
Yes. Oh. Ah. What is that group of people?
Oh, she's so big.
Just.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
Let's go. So, the one with the monkeys. Oh god. Oh my god, what are you doing? Oh, the drink's spilling.
What are they doing? Just
What are you doing?
literally, what the
Get out of here!
What the fuck are they doing?
Alright, let's go. This is getting weird. So recently we went to see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes of the sequel.
Isn't it the Dawn of the Planet or the?
I stand corrected.
I don't know.
That sounds right.
Sounds about right.
Because there's not enough of the in that title.
Of the.
So the premise behind the film is there is a group of apes led by Caesar, who in the first film escapes from the animal testing facility along with a lot of other of his kind, a lot of other apes. I think there are different kinds of apes as well, so it's not just one.
Yeah, there's orangutans, there's gorillas.
Yeah, but basically they escape. At the end of that film, which is The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I just want to say this now, that sounds like a better title for this film.
Yeah, they're lagging behind, aren't they, really?
Well, anyway, that's whatever.
Because the next one will probably be actually the Dawn of
Beginning of the Planet of the Apes.
Because like they'll have taken over the world or whatever probably in the next one. They'll actually be living in the cities or whatever.
Anyway,
yeah, forget that.
Yeah, that's in a couple of years we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've escaped. It seems like from the end of the first film and now following on to this one, there's been a massive pandemic, and they do this at the start of the film. They explain it a little bit with some nice little visuals showing like the world and panning across and showing how the different like flight paths of aeroplanes spread this simian disease, simian flu.
And it fucks up the world basically.
And yeah, basically it just spreads really quickly, and they never say how much of humanity is wiped out, but essentially it's a lot. The conflict in this film comes from the group of humans living in San Francisco. They're living in the ruin of the city, and they're 100,000 people. Again, we're never told how many people are living in this area of San Francisco, but their aim is to restore power.
Yeah.
And obviously, by doing so, they're going to be able to, basically restart civilization. Hopefully, get in contact with other people around the world. Now, the problem comes when they come into contact with the apes who are living just outside San Francisco, and there's a whole range of different characters that really don't mix well in terms of how they deal with this situation, such as Cobra and a few of the other humans. Gary Oldman, I think his name is Dreyfus, isn't it?
It's that guy.
Gary Oldman, that's what his name is in every film.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon, isn't that what I said? He survived the apocalypse.
He survived it. He was in New York.
He's now in
which
Gotham.
is basically Gotham.
No, he's not Chicago.
To begin with it was, but then like those shots of all the bridges.
Oh, that's true actually.
That was New York, wasn't it?
Yeah, technically that was New
So I
York.
kind of think of Gotham as New York now, unfortunately.
Oh, no, isn't in the like comic books? Metropolis is
New York. I think they're all. So, yeah.
And then Chicago is meant to be.
Whatever. Anyway, he survives that.
Yeah.
And then the fucking pandemic comes along.
And he survives that too.
He survives that as well.
And then he's
What
the
happens to Batman
leader.
in all this?
He died. He He died at the end of the last film,
I
right?
didn't. You would watch it.
That's a good film. So Gary Oldman is the leader of this group, and Caesar is the leader of the other group. There's another character who's really the main character, and I don't know his name. No, isn't it Malcolm actually? Let's call
I
him
don't
Malcolm.
know. I don't know. He's been in some other things.
He's a good actor. He was in Farscape, and he's a fucking legend. Because that's amazing. That show, so good, so good. Thank you, Jim Henson. Anyway, what do you think?
I enjoyed it mostly.
Come on, hit me. What did you think?
I really liked it.
Yep.
I thought a lot of the story was interesting. The characters were interesting. I'll never get sick of seeing apes talk. Just the way they talk at the moment is brilliant. I hope they never change that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they can talk, but it's not like perfect. They're not just talking like us.
Yeah.
They're a bit like, you know, like it's forced. Like it's like the first,
Caesar,
yeah.
Wake.
Yeah.
Cobra. Wake up. I'm not a girl. Ape. No. Go.
Just all of that. I love that stuff. Like, and yeah, I do hope they don't change it. And I like the stuff where they're talking in sign language as well. I kind of wish more of it was that in some respects.
Yeah.
Not that there's an issue with it being a lot of talking.
I like the mix. Personally.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good mix because it shows that they're not fluent in English or any language other than sign language. They can sort of have whole conversations in that. And the whole first bit of the film was like 10 minutes or so where there was no speaking.
Yeah.
The apes weren't talking to each other.
Yeah,
They were using
no
sign
real reason
language.
to,
Yeah, exactly. They only
Well, they were
really start
hunting, weren't
talking.
they? They want to keep quiet, so.
They only really start talking though when the humans arrive.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like my opinion of this film is I really like this a lot. I think I could happily see this film another like 2 or 3 times and not be bored.
Yeah, I don't want to see Hercules right now. I want to see this again.
Who are you?
It'll be worth it for Dwayne.
No, so this film though, there's a lot of things going on in this film. A lot of issues that it sort of tackles, but it doesn't do it in a like ham-fisted way.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it in a way where it's obviously saying one side or the other side is bad, and I really like that, firstly.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that humans are bad for wanting to look out for humans, and likewise the apes aren't bad for wanting to defend themselves or attacking or whatever. You know, it's very much...
That's one thing, definitely. Definitely, it was like, both sides are bad, both sides are good. That was really interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I like...
There's elements of bad in both, and elements of good in both.
Yeah, and I think it's almost that real life approach, which I really appreciate. I think especially in terms of the amount of like superhero films we've had over the last couple of years, where good and bad, that's it, and like
not
good fights bad, good punches bad in the face and wins.
Yeah,
that was it. Like whereas this film goes beyond that and tries to tackle some of the issues that might actually happen. And it's funny to me, I still find it amusing that we're talking about a film that has talking monkeys, talking apes. Do you know what I mean? It's funny that this film can almost be as deep as it is, considering.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, it's got a lot of interesting ideas behind it. I mean, even the idea that I said just now, where the apes only really start to talk when the humans show up in their world. You know, that in some sense you can look at that as a sign of how humans corrupt everything around them and vastly affect everything that happens. The apes were fine before humans were like reintroduced into their life.
Yeah, they were
as soon as they are,
peaceful life.
Yeah, as soon as they are, trouble happens, and it's you know, the effect that we have on them is shown by the way they start speaking English. You know.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's touched upon and never like overdone. But the obviously the catastrophe with the pandemic, you know, you can appreciate how that affected all the humans, and some of them have really strong opinions and feelings against apes because of it.
Yeah.
As I'm sure obviously you can understand if they lost families and things. Others are more understanding, but it never goes very much into making you feel sorry for characters. It just touches on it, and you can sort of see by the way the actors perform, sort of the looks they give and the actions in that moment, how much it did affect them.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
The only thing that kind of got to me, or like the only thing that I kind of wish it had more of, which it doesn't have, is just kind of a interesting visual style.
Okay.
I feel it was very generic. It was quite, utilitarian. What's the fucking way you say that? Utilitarian. That doesn't sound right. Where it does the job.
Okay.
They just get it done.
Right. Yeah.
Where there's no like artistic flair, or there's nothing interesting about it.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish there was more interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about the director, so I don't know if he is, one of these directors that is kind of wheeled out just to sort of like make a film. He's not like one that's independent. He's got his own style. It's just the one they wheel out because they want to reboot a franchise like Mark Webb with Spider-Man.
Oh god.
So we've gone from Burger King to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Directly.
Yeah, otherwise I really enjoyed it. Like, everything about it was really good, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately... can I just get a plain McFlurry,
yeah.
please? You want anything? Yeah, that's everything.
I was one of the person the strengths I felt stood out. So something that something that like stood out to me was how they didn't need to hand everything to you on a plate.
Yep.
They didn't have the expositional kind of talking where if someone's a doctor in the film, they don't have the character saying, "I was a doctor in the old world. I can help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you with my medical skills."
Yeah.
And then he goes and does it. It's left to you to see that someone is fixing someone's leg or they're helping them medically, and you make the jump in your own brain. Oh, that person has some medical experience.
Yeah.
They're probably some kind of doctor, nurse, and there's no need to sort of go into it any more than that. Essentially, that's it. And also, when at a certain point in the film, Gary Oldman, there's a moment where he's on his own.
Actually, another thing someone brought to me that I didn't really think about was female apes.
Yeah.
How really they're portrayed kind of badly in the film.
Right.
In that they don't really do anything, and they're just kind of like, there's no strong female characters in the pictures. And on the ape side, which I thought,
Does it need to be though?
I hadn't thought about it when I was watching it, but thinking back, it's kind of interesting to think about that.
Yeah, but I don't think it needs to be. Like in terms of like.
It doesn't need to be,
What?
but again, I'm just, it was an interesting thing where I was like, oh yeah, I suppose there wasn't any.
So that
strong
links
female
into my
characters.
point. That links into my point in that I'm saying that the script, the actors, how they show their character, it's all in service of the story, and that's really good to see. Basically, there's no sort of extra pointless dialogue or no action is without a motivation. Essentially, you know what's happening with the characters.
Cheers.
You know what's happening with the characters. You know why it's happening. It's you're not left to think, well, what the fuck's he doing? Why is he doing this? It doesn't make sense. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Please crash into the police.
Oh, someone
in the back of the car.
they're going to McDonald's. That's the state of our police force, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus.
Just parked really badly in front of them.
Oops. Probably see there's a recording thing at them.
They'll probably see the camera and be like, excuse me, why have you got a camera in your car? You're not supposed to do that. There's 3 of them. Look how fat she is. Oh my god.
They're coming over.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that one's pretty skinny.
That one though. Surprised she passed the fitness test.
No, you only have to do it once, and then you never have to do it again, ever.
That is pretty backwards, isn't it?
Oh my god!
The ladies,
What is she doing here?
they're encouraging her to keep fat. I don't know. What were we saying? Strong female characters, there's no needs, blah blah blah.
Well, no, it's in terms of in service to the story. Okay, you know, they're not going to sort of force any strong female characters. There's no need for it in the story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the main characters are Koba, Malcolm, his wife, and
But in a way, wouldn't it have been interesting to see, like, you know, like in 300, where it's Leonidas and his wife,
yeah.
and his wife pushes him.
Well, yeah, possibly. But I think the
Would it
thing
have
to
been
remember.
interesting to see that? That would have been interesting.
I think the thing to remember and bear in mind is that in nature, in the real sort of world,
Yeah.
you know, the animal kingdom is dominated by the males.
Yeah.
And these apes are still animals, and maybe in the next film we'll see that transition where they're becoming more of a society.
Yeah.
But at that point in this film, it's very much Caesar is the leader and his right hand man. Caesar. So, you know, in that sense, I don't have a problem at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because again, like, there's a strong female woman who plays quite a big role, and she's, you know, effective. It's not massive, and it's not the biggest role, but she plays a part. You know, in the same way that his son, you know, is not vitally important, but in the overall picture, you know, it motivates the main character.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's very important. I really like this film, so I'd probably give it 10 out of 10. I'd say it's.
I'm going 9.
I'd say it's probably the best film I've seen this year. Or one of the best films I've seen this year.
What else came out this year? There was something really good.
There've been a few good films. I don't know. I can't remember if 12 Years a Slave and Wolf of Wall Street came out this year.
They did, didn't they?
I can't remember. Maybe. Well, those two,
I'm not
obviously.
sure. I get confused because obviously they come out in America earlier,
yeah.
don't they?
Those two are really well known to be amazing films, and we already talked about that.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good film, especially in the context of summer blockbusters, where
Yeah.
you've got all that usual shit that Michael Bay churns out.